Hello everyone and welcome to NewTek TV. I am your host Richard Evans, and today we are dedicating this entire episode to something that I'm pretty excited about. The TriCaster 2 Elite. TriCaster 2 Elite continues the evolution of the TriCaster line with a proven feature set, more ways to manage video sources, connect to remote guests, and more. Now, during today's show, we have NewTek sales specialists standing by in our chat room, so if you have any questions, please type them in there, and we will also be having a live Q&A session at the end, so stick around for that. Now, the TriCaster 2 Elite comes equipped with all the powerful features that have made the TriCaster line the most powerful live production systems with switching, streaming, recording, media playback, and more. Now, we made a quick video to show you just a few of those capabilities. TriCaster 2 Elite gives you better than broadcast features to produce your very own live show. It blends superior production tools and IP workflows like no other. Plug in 8 hardware inputs and the ability to bring in up to 32 total live video sources for cameras, computers, gaming systems, and so much more. TriCaster 2 Elite allows you to switch between all these sources using built-in or custom animated transitions. With 8 hardware outputs, along with an additional 8 network outputs, you can route video sources to all kinds of devices like monitors, video walls, projectors, and more. No matter the shape or size of your video, TriCaster's uncompromising flexibility can combine multiple aspect ratios and resolutions up to 4K 60p and mixes them together to create your show. Take a simple green screen setup like this and quickly key out the background to use your shot into virtual sets or use them as a video source to layer on top of your video using downstream keyers. It also gives you the ability to bring in everything from names to titles to real-time data using dynamic animated titling tools and layer them directly into your broadcast. With 4 DDR media players, you can play back pre-produced video segments directly into your production. You can also mix, route, and even process various audio signals using the TriCaster 2 Elite's built-in mixing tools. Bring in guests from anywhere on the planet using the new Live Call Connect feature using Skype, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and many more. Create your script in Microsoft Word, add some simple text-based commands, and TriCaster 2 Elite can send your script out as a teleprompter-ready video signal and have the script run the show for you. Record a master recording of your show and record individual channels for post-production, instant replay, and more using powerful ISO recording tools. TriCaster's live streaming engine makes it easy to connect to your favorite content delivery network to deliver multiple feeds to audiences all around the world. TriCaster 2 Elite, setting new standards in how video is made and seen. So as you can see, there are some amazing new features with this system. And again, just a reminder, if you have any questions, we have the answers. Type them into our chat window and we'll have a live Q&A after the show. So earlier this week, I got a chance to speak with the head of product management for NewTek, Mr. Will Waters, to demonstrate how some of these new features work and what they mean for you. So Will Waters, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad to be here.
Happy to have you. So what does TriCaster 2 Elite mean?
Well, TriCaster 2 Elite it's a new flagship product in the TriCaster line. Now, NewTek has had a TriCaster product in the marketplace for a long time now, and it really is the most complete production system on the planet. What that means is that integrated hardware and software all brought together to allow storytellers to deliver their stories through video. And TriCaster 2 Elite is the flagship TriCaster that really allows you to bring in multiple sources, mix those together, deliver to multiple outputs, and then of course also be able to do things like virtual sets, roll video clips, be able to put graphics on top of it, and a whole host of other things ranging from video to audio to automation and control tools. So TriCaster 2 Elite is something that we're calling better than broadcast. Better than broadcast really is taking all of these different formats, all of these different video needs and sources, and really putting them together into an integrated, most complete production system on the planet so that the storytellers can tell their story.
And the first new tool is called Live Call Connect. Let's check that out. TriCaster 2 Elite gives you the ability to use virtually any video conferencing tool like Skype, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and many more, and bring them together into your show with Live Call Connect. Live Call Connect allows remote contributors to be brought in as individual sources. Those sources can then be used just like any other video source connected to a production switcher without having to worry about frame rates or resolutions. Remote guests can join your show using any device. Once they are connected, the TriCaster 2 Elite can take their video source and mix them into professional layouts with graphics, titles, and animations. In today's rapidly changing production environments, Live Call Connect gives content creators the tools to create their shows that are better than broadcast. So Live Call Connect is great, especially in these rapidly changing environments. I mean, that's kind of how you and I are talking today. This capability is going to be great to bring people together. Can you show us a little bit about how that works?
Absolutely. And as we just saw in the video, in today's times where people are in all different places and we have sources coming together, we definitely need to be able to really merge a lot of different types of video together. So let's look at the interface. Within the TriCaster interface, we have the idea of workspaces. Now, we've had these for quite a long time, but in the workspaces, when you have another monitor connected, we have a new feature here that allows us to bring in what we call the app desktop. And this is where the Live Call Connect feature really comes to play. So once we have that set up on our secondary monitor, we can go and take a look, and what you see at the bottom are a number of different call applications that are already available. Now, we've already loaded up a few of them. Right now, we have a call already set up with Zoom. And Zoom allows us to basically run the Zoom application right within the TriCaster environment. We can also do the same thing with Skype, with Microsoft Teams, with Discord, and of course with Slack. Now, once you have that call set up, and you notice we have a few different callers that are working with us right now, what the Live Call Connect application allows us to do is basically take that video that's right within the application, and we can map that video directly into the inputs of the TriCaster. So I've selected a 4-box set because we have 3 callers, as well as our return video feed connected there. And then when we go back to our TriCaster application into the inputs, we then have the ability to select these as local sources onto our network. So if I go to my source selector here, under local, you'll see that the Zoom application appears, and we can actually bring in up to 9 callers on that Zoom application. Our caller here is, we only have 3 together, but as you can see, inputs 1, 2, and 3 are all brought directly in from the Live Call application. What this does is it allows us to really work very, very well with all the feature set of the TriCaster. So if I go ahead and open up my switcher panel, We can do the things that we're used to within the TriCaster application, of course, whether or not we have virtual sets. So in this particular instance, we have our talent that is on a green screen and coming in on one of our inputs. We've selected them and put them into a virtual set. But within that virtual set environment behind, we also have the ability, of course, to be able to re-enter our MEs. So in this particular situation, in ME1, I can then bring in all of our Zoom callers, and we can even move them around. And of course, we do have the ability to mix between ME1 and ME2 here so that we have full control over our application. Full control over the entire production so that we can enhance the storytelling, giving the operators the ability to enhance their calls, their virtual meeting room calls, very easily and effectively. And of course, because the TriCaster has the ability to also deliver automation as well as live graphics, we can even bring in and set up, say, we want a bug in the corner here. We have the ability to go ahead and bring that together. We'll select our preset, and maybe we want a bug in the right. You can see that when I collapse our windows here, you can see that we have the ability to have all of those graphics set up quickly and easily so that the operator can, of course, tell that story directly. So the Live Call Connect feature allows us to bring in all of these virtual meeting room applications, but there is more. If we go back over to the desktop application screen, you'll see that we can also bring in web browsers. So for instance, we have the Live Call Connect video right from the NewTek website. If I go ahead and start that playing, we then can grab that video and then come back into our input list on the TriCaster, and we'll choose input 4 here, for instance. Again, if we go to our Live Call Connect sources, what you'll see is that we have the ability to basically connect on that and pull that video directly into one of our inputs. So I'm choosing my local source. To select our web browser. And we can bring in our page area or even the full application window. Utilizing this feature allows us to take video directly from a web browser and, of course, put that into our mix as well.
That's awesome. Now, another addition to the TriCaster 2 Elite is its 8 mix outputs. Let's take a look. The TriCaster 2 Elite. Never before has a system given you uncompromising flexibility to interconnect virtually any video source and deliver your message to the world. TriCaster 2 Elite features 32 individual inputs that support numerous IP video sources including NDI, SRT, RTMP, and many more. It can also interconnect with popular video calling applications like Skype, Teams, Zoom, and Slack with the revolutionary Live Call Connect. TriCaster 2 Elite features 8 1080-60p 3G SDI hardware inputs to connect to traditional video equipment like cameras, video routers, and media players. Once your show is ready to deliver to your audience, TriCaster 2 Elite gives you more options than ever to distribute your content. With 8 individual inputs, you can produce multiple video programs from one system. Then output your show through the 8 1080-60p 3G SDI hardware outputs for connecting to monitors, projectors, video walls, digital signage, and more. These connections also give you the flexibility to output 2 4K Quad-Link Ultra HD connections. TriCaster 2 Elite also distributes the 8 mixes along with 8 dynamically assignable video outputs as direct NDI video signals across your network. To reach your audience online, TriCaster 2 Elite features 2 independent streaming encoders to connect to your viewers on whatever platform they are watching. Lastly, your show can also be recorded with the ability to capture individual inputs or outputs separately for use in post-production and for on-demand viewing. When you put it all together, TriCaster 2 Elite offers connectivity for contribution and distribution that is better than broadcast. So in addition to those live calls, we can bring those in via Skype, Teams, Zoom, etc. The TriCaster 2 Elite also allows you to bring in tons of other video sources like traditional SDI video sources like cameras, video routers. Also, you can bring in sources from NDI and more. Can you explain a little bit about how the different sources you can bring into the system?
Yes, well, the TriCaster 2 Elite, we really have the most comprehensive number of source types available. So there are 8 SDI BNC connectors that support 3G up to 3G, and they're auto-selectable, auto-sensing formats. And that gives you a lot of capability for convenience on the TriCaster 2 Elite chassis itself. But of course, we work with many different source formats, whether it is IP with NDI, of course, so up to 32 external inputs that could come in with NDI. But any of those inputs can also be specified to take other IP sources, whether it's SRT feeds, RTMP, RTMPS, RTP, and a whole host of other direct from IP camera video streams that come in on that network connection. So you have a lot of capability to be able to really have what is the most powerful video input and processing engine available on the planet today.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
So yeah, you're about to say, so we have those 8 hardware inputs and the 8 hardware mixes. Can you explain about some of the output capabilities of the system?
Yes, well, it's great to be able to bring everything in, but, in today's world, you need to be able to deliver that content in so many different places, whether it's to screens in the studio, whether you need to have separate mixes going to multiple streaming outputs, or you want to really put video in different ways in different places. With the TriCaster 2 Elite, we have doubled the amount of mix outputs available in any HD session from any TriCaster previously, but that's just with TriCaster. This really gives you a lot of power and capability. So again, if we go ahead and take a look at our interface, I pulled up the output configuration window, and what you can see here is that we have 8 mix outputs that all can be either a program outs, program clean feed outs, our preview windows, or a direct out from any of our inputs, media players, mix effects buses, and what have you. What this allows for is that you can do take the same content coming into the TriCaster and mix that up in different ways to be able to deliver your content and your story specifically to the audience that are necessary. And one other thing I'd like to point out here is that clean feeds are now available on the mix outputs, which is a really fantastic feature, especially if you need to do appropriate recording or various line cuts. And because the TriCaster has the automation and control capabilities, you can even set up different mix effects to be linked to each other so that you can set up those line cuts and having both clean and graphics or outputs with graphics available to where you need to go. Of course, all of this can be recorded so that you have all of these mixes that can be captured if you have appropriate storage connected to the TriCaster 2 Elite, so that you really get the capabilities and the power of our latest versions of NDI, so that you can take all of that input coming in and, of course, all of these mix outputs and capture all of those independently. It's an incredibly powerful feature to be able to be delivered to the TriCaster 2 Elite.
Agreed. Now, one of the beautiful things about the TriCaster is that it can mix and match different resolutions and aspect ratios together to create a show. Can you tell us a bit about some of the 4K possibilities of this system?
Yes, well, the TriCaster 2 Elite does support 4K resolutions. Now, 4K takes a lot of processing power, and there's a lot that you can do with it, but this is one of the wonderful capabilities, is that every one of those 32 inputs has the ability to support 4K up to 60 frames per second. And so you can bring all of that content in. And then the compositing engines are incredibly powerful, and it gives you, when you're running in a 4K session, you can have 2 independent mix outputs, or you can set it up to have your program output in 4K, and then you get an additional 4 mix outputs in HD or lower formats. So again, you have the ability to cross convert, to scale down from 4K, giving you really a lot of power and capability within the TriCaster 2 Elite environment.
Well, I know a lot of people are excited for this product. I happen to be one of them. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Great. Thank you so much, Richard.
So there you have it, a preview of the exciting new TriCaster 2 Elite. To sum it up, you have more ways to connect your audience, more inputs, more outputs, live call center, and so much more. Now we are gathering up some of the questions from our chat, so please type them in and we will be answering them live here on NewTek TV. So joining us again is NewTek's Head of Product Management, Mr. Will Waters. Welcome back.
Thank you, Richard.
So a few follow-up questions from our previous chat. One of the things that I like about it, like you were showing off just a minute ago, some of the recording capabilities on this system. What kind of hard drives are in these bad boys?
So every TriCaster, of course, is being part of as a complete production system, has the ability to have onboard storage. Now, for media assets and be able to work with that. You can do some recording there, and every TriCaster 2 Elite has 4 1 terabyte SSD drives that ship on the unit that are configured in a RAID configuration for a single drive output for speed and efficiency. Of course, if you're going to have that comprehensive recording of all 32 inputs and all 8 outputs and everything that is a benefit in the NDI ecosystem, you're going to want to speak with the reseller about a network attached storage such as the NRS.
Right, cool. So we have a couple different questions from our chat here I want to shoot out. So first one is a lot of questions about Live Call Center. What do the viewers see when they do a video chat with a TriCaster?
Well, what the viewers are going to see on your program are going to see what your program output is going to be. As far as those that are working with the virtual meeting room application, like the Zoom or the Microsoft Teams application, that's going to be very similar to, actually, it's going to be exactly the same as what they would be working with in any type of video conferencing or virtual meeting room call today. So it's utilizing the desktop applications as people are used to.
And can viewers also share PowerPoint presentations and also Word documents, etc., in the chats?
Well, to work through that, so the idea and the need for utilizing Live Call Connect and being able to work with these virtual meeting room applications, the intent is really to be able to bring in remote callers and have access for this distributed remote insertion of video content, and of course being able to work with and interview and connect with people in many different formats and across geography. When we get into presentations and different things like that, depending on how the application is set up, some of it we can do, some of it is going to be a little bit different, but that might be something that's better set up in your production plan. I mean, again, we're talking video production versus a standard virtual meeting room environment.
Gotcha. So how is audio handled when using Live Call Connect?
That's a great question, and this is one that comes up a lot. Now, keep in mind, we are working with the standard desktop applications, and so we will be working with however those applications are handling their audio. So for the instance of working with Microsoft Teams or with Zoom or with the Discord applications, they're utilizing the standard Windows audio device options that are working on the Windows operating system. So we will have a muxed audio, so all of the different callers will have the same audio path. So that will be one slider, if you will, on the audio mixer. And then, of course, your program audio will be returned back to the application with a mix minus that's already set in there. So all the audio coming in won't be delivered back into that application. Now, this is a little bit different than the Skype TX application. For those that are already used to utilizing the Skype TX, that will give you independent control of those 2 callers, as has been standard in TriCaster for some time.
Okay. Now, on the Zoom program, how do you not, whenever you're doing these calls, how do you avoid getting that infinity mirror effect whenever you're doing a call going back to them?
Well, for one, you're probably not going to want to put your program or your return feed back into your input. So if you saw, as we were just doing in the demonstration, the feed that we were delivering, or our program feed we were delivering into the Zoom call in the demonstration, was not then brought back into as an input within the TriCaster. So that's actually a pretty simple thing to avoid.
Okay. And then with the new SSD and RAID, how many streams are available to record for, say, 1080 60p?
Well, I don't have the full matrix, doing the quick math off the top of my head, but I think generally speaking, you're looking at about, for 1080 60p, we would be talking about 70 gigs per hour. So we'll have to do the math on that. Sorry, I don't have my calculator out here on the call today.
Yeah, it's okay, you're forgiven. Now, a great question here is, can you have calls from, say, Teams and Zoom, for example, like multiple video conferencing applications in the same broadcast?
You know, that again, that's something that's come up often, and that's an interesting workflow. However, you know, so two things, I guess. Yes, you can do this, but I'm not sure that you would always want to. Again, because of the audio connectivity and the way that we are needing to utilize and work with the audio of these virtual meeting room applications, their intent may not be to actually run them simultaneously on the same machine, and that's probably to be expected from the developers of each of these applications. So it is sometimes not possible to separate the return audio back to those individual applications. So while the system will not keep you from being able to do so, it will require some planning in the audio path.
Okay. Yeah. Now, what happens when a caller drops off?
Well, when a caller drops off, you don't want to have that caller, of course, on your program out. That would probably not be a good choice for your video production. However, we do have built in, this is not just a scan conversion or simple scan conversion for the function that we deliver to the Live Caller Connect application and then delivering that into the TriCaster switcher. The feature will do its best to be content aware and to keep those videos into the video windows, if you will, into the appropriate inputs within the TriCaster. Now, if things come on and off and on and off, you want to have stable internet, you want to have a stable call. I mean, these are things that are always good in production no matter what, because having variability can always impact in a live production environment.
Right. Another great question from our chat is, can you use a USB audio interface with any TriCaster system?
Actually, that's something that is now standard in all modern TriCasters. We do support WDM drivers, and most USB devices have compatible drivers, and if it's recognized on the system, that should be available within current modern TriCaster software.
Okay, right on. Good questions here today. So, well, it looks like that's about it, honestly. That's all the time we have for this episode of NewTek TV. Will, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully see you in the office soon.
Well, thank you so much.
Now, for more information on TriCaster 2 Elite and all of our NewTek products, contact your local reseller or visit newtek.com. Also, you can sign up for a free NewTek product demonstration by going to the top of this screen on NewTek TV and clicking on the demo button at the top of the page. So please take advantage of that. Also, send us a message if you want to be part of one of these NewTek TV broadcasts at newtektv@newtek.com. Now, our next episode will be an in-depth look at Live Story Creator and how you can use a Microsoft Word document to run your entire show, which will take place on July 22nd. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time on NewTek TV.